In the early 1990s, the idea of a truly fast estate car was rare, with the Volvo 850 serving as one of the few examples. Performance was for coupes and sedans, and estates were built for practicality. But Audi had other plans, the RS2 Avant. It wasn't just fast, it challenged expectations, and it started with a collaboration that still feels surprising today. Audi turned to Porsche, not for marketing, but for engineering. The car was even assembled at Porsche's Rossle-Bau facility in Zuffenhausen, the same factory that built the 959.
It's basically built on a standard Audi A8 platform. The S2 Avant at that time wasn't actually as fast as some of their competitors, mainly in BMW and in Mercedes. So they commissioned Porsche to basically take this car and say, okay, make it as fast as possible. We want to be able to compete with BMW's Touring and the Merc estate at that time. And Porsche basically took the S2, which was a pretty powerful car at the time, 230 brake horsepower in an inline 5 engine, and basically beefed it up. It has a lot of kind of nods to the 964, which is the same time that this car is built. So you have the wing mirrors, you have the alloys, you have the calipers. But then the biggest thing they did was on the engine. So instead of the normal 220 brake horsepower, they beefed it up to 315 brake horsepower from the same inline 5 engine, which you can really feel when you're revving the cars.
The RS2 was the very first car to wear the Audi's RS badge, short for Rennsport or Racing Sport. Until then, Audi had focused on refined performance, but the RS2 marked a shift towards something more aggressive. The badge would go on to define Audi's top-tier performance lineup. Just under 2,900 were made, and that makes it a rarity today, but its real legacy is in what it started.
This RS moment for Audi became kind of more the consumer part of that, because the S1 Quattro, the E1s, the E2s, the IMSAs, all of that, they were all created specifically, whether it was for Le Mans as well, they were created specifically for those tracks and for those things. This became a sports car for everyday people. I think certain cars deserve to live longer. You know, the Mazda 323 I had at the beginning of my car journey, does that deserve to still be here today? No, it didn't deserve to be there back then. But I think certain cars deserve to be kept around for a little bit longer. Whether that's going to be possible in the future or not, but as long as it can be, I think, yeah. I'd hate not being able to see RS2s on the road. So as long as I can keep it on the road, I will.
Today, it's iconic, not flashy, not loud, but deeply respected. A reminder of what happens when two car makers ignore the rulebook and build something just because they can.
I think between Audi and Porsche, they really managed to maintain the driver's aspect of it. You feel that you're driving, you have to match the RPMs. For me, the first time when I sat in this car and I drove it home and it was mine, it was a joy. I think that's my connection with every car that I have, is that if I'm happy with the car, I almost don't care what happens to it. I will rebuild it from the ground up, right? I'll spend the money that goes on it. And for me, whether it was this one or my S2 or my S5, even that's my daily, every time I sit in my cars, and whether it's a long drive or just a short drive, I feel happy, and that's what matters to me. Most cars feel the same these days. Back in the 90s, it was more, how outrageous can we make it? What's the most outrageous body kit we can do? How can we push power from the engines? If you were looking at rally back then, or you were looking at Formula One back then, the necessity for innovation was bigger than what it is now. Now there's so many other factors, whether it's environmental, whether it's kind of people's design choices. Obviously, I think, car culture is a big part of it as well. And the manufacturers kind of supporting it, right? Audi's collaboration, for example, with ABT, or Merck's collaboration with AMG, those were big drivers for the car scene itself as well. So you ended up having pretty unique cars, even though, everybody bought the same base model, but there was much more scope to be able to do something about your car and make it your own, which is really difficult these days, because you can't. What are you going to do with the electronics? What are you going to do with the engine or the electric motor? It's not really something you can work on yourself. Consumers that are into their cars, building their cars, modifying their cars, that smaller demographic maybe is not the one that's going to give them the most money. That's unfortunate because, you know, we're the ones that are passionate about it. We're the ones that are loving it. We're the ones that will, you know, drive to where they say in Austria for a car show, or to Poland for a car show, just to be able to be part of that scene. But if that possibility is not there, that's really difficult then to keep that passion alive. And especially for cars like this, every year the amount of parts that you can get, or spare parts, is going to get smaller and smaller. So at some point, I would love to have this for the rest of my life, but if the parts are not there for me to be able to build it and own it and maintain it, then yeah, then at some point you're gonna have to let it go.
The RS2 proved that speed and usability didn't have to be opposites, that a car could genuinely be fast and still take the kids to school. Was the RS2 more Porsche or more Audi? Let me know in the comments. Either way, I'd get it insured with Adrian Influx, who make these videos possible. For more 90s content, hit subscribe, and thanks for watching Influx.